We're joined again this week by Jennine Hamiton, the Chief Technology Officer at Legacy Fund Limited. Welcome, Jennine.
Hi, Destiny. Thanks again for having me.
As always, it is a pleasure. So right now, the holidays are quickly approaching, but with the holidays, we are experiencing a lot of traffic, particularly in urban areas. As the new year approaches, we do anticipate further alterations to our traffic system. Is there a possibility for innovative solutions or technologies that can greatly enhance the commuting experience on public transportation?
Yeah, there definitely is, Destiny. There's actually several solutions that can be adopted that would definitely improve the quality of our public transportation systems. For instance, one would be electronic ticketing solutions that would make paying for the transport services and also minimizing the cluster that usually happens at our public bus service stations. That would really help with that. There's also real-time information systems whereby passengers or commuters, they can be informed of where the buses are, the exact times that they're leaving, and so on. So again, that would help with congestion. It just gives a better service to commuters. And of course, I think that the authorities, they can use big data to analyze the different times that people are really moving, riding the buses, the taxis, and so on, so that can help with better planning and optimizing the experience as well.
Okay, thanks, Jennine. But in what ways can we implement these solutions in our transportation services?
I think that the biggest way that we can implement these solutions would be strategic collaborations with public transit and also tech companies that would bring new ideas and the expertise to actually execute on these ideas. It could also open up areas for better funding methods, creative ways for alternative income streams to come in using the transportation system. And there's also the risk sharing. So a bus operator, for instance, they would not feel so lonely, I would say, like they're taking all the risks, swimming in an ocean that they're not experiencing.
So you mentioned technology. I do have to ask, do you think that Belize is ready for on-demand ride services? For instance, in the USA, they have Lyft and they have Uber, which many of us are familiar with, but do you think that would work well in our country?
Well, as I know, there's at least one rideshare service in the market, which is Midriver. However, I do not know how it's performing because I have not heard much about it. However, I do think that we need to consider several aspects that would go beyond technology in that area to really determine whether or not we are ready for it. So we have to think about infrastructure or roads, digital mapping, GPS accuracy, because this is all related to that service being effective. There's also accessibility, which goes back to what we spoke about before with our digital divide. There's the regulations. I'm not sure if we have within our transportation regulations anything to accommodate on-demand services such as those. And then there's also market demand, which goes back again to penetration in the market. So I believe, yes, we can be ready for rideshare services in more urban areas. However, I think that we need the right environment for it to be effective.
Speaking of the right environment, can you share a case where the government and private companies worked well together in transportation and what factors contributed to their success?
Well, I've never been, but I've heard about Singapore having a very elite public transportation system. It is said to be first class. And so, but that came about with collaboration between the government and private companies, private transport companies. They also invested a lot in tech and in infrastructure, like I mentioned before. and they have in place the right regulations to support the goal that they have. So I think the other thing is really that if you're going to do PPPs, in any ways, public-private partnerships to realize these goals, then you must align, your goal must align, and it must be that you want to offer an excellent service for commuters.
Well, I am optimistic about what the future holds for Belize when it comes to our transportation and, of course, our infrastructure. But you know, Jennine, this conversation has been very insightful, but we must go to a break. When we come back, Abby will be talking to Mr. Alan Awell on cycling in Belize, so don't go away.